Good morning from the Heritage Center. I am Michael Hook, and I am excited to present our first Facebook Live feed to you here. So it's always fun to have technology here in the Heritage Center. So unfortunately, I can't come up with a great unveiling like the Great Plains Theater did yesterday. So we're very excited about Mamma Mia. It is kind of interesting. Randy is a musical theater expert, but he loves the Old West, and I'm an Old West expert, and I love the musical theater. So we kind of crossed that over a little bit. So Mamma Mia is a great cowboy story. Who's kidding who here? So anyways, but I do like to show off the newspaper. This is the most recent one, if you can see it. This is from the Abilene Reflector. We were all over the front page yesterday. The statehood ball, we had a great attendance. Everybody was dressed up. So definitely an event you don't want to miss. We definitely had to compete against the Little Mermaid, which was tough for us, but we did pretty well for ourselves, and always ready to celebrate Kansas heritage there for sure. So a big event that's coming up that we're excited about is the art show, the Heritage Art Show, which will be coming up on February the 5th, which is this Sunday. We'll have a meet and greet with me as well, so you'll get to meet the new director of the Heritage Center, so always love a chance to talk to people. But every school child that's in the county from K through 12 has the ability to enter into the art show, so we're so excited about showing all the students' works, and they will get a free ride on the carousel. So it's be an exciting opportunity for them, and we're excited to share all the art of the local artists. So that being said, we'll also have some great professional artists as well on display. For that day, we like to show off a Korsberger Zane, who's the Swedish artist that was in Lindsborg, is where his gallery is, but has some great pieces. I'll kind of share with you here these woodcut drawings that they went through, which was kind of a neat setup. This came from the United Trust Company. The Seeleys had a lot of these collections too, but you see that he took us through Abilene back in the Old West days, so you can kind of see that old drover's cottage and the pictures that Joseph McCoy would have put together. So many great pieces that Zane did in Abilene. You'll see everything from the Cowtown days to Eisenhower. He really depicted a lot of great stories for us. So we're going to put those out on display, as well as a man who did a lot of great works in the 70s, and he did all the Old West, showed us what Abilene would have looked like back then, which is very rare because it's hard to find any good pictures of the Cowtown Abilene. So he kind of brings it to life there. His last name is Schmidt. He's a great artist as well, so we're excited to share his works. So in addition to the kids' works, you're going to see some art all the way through this museum, which we're excited about. We also want to talk about Art Mantle, and Art Mantle was kind of the Old West, even though he was born in the wrong generation. So he was in the 30s and 40s, very prevalent. He ended up buying some land in Wyoming and Montana. Very scary guy when you look at him, but he definitely was a guy that appreciated the Old West. I'll bring it back to the camera here so you can see him. Hopefully, so you glare on that. Looks good. That's old Art Mantle there, and you can see he's brandishing one of his guns there. So Art Mantle came through here. He had all these guns that he'd been collecting for years and years, and we appreciate it because he donated most of them to the Heritage Center. So a great collection of historic guns. We're going to unveil this officially after the art show is done. We're going to bring it around Valentine's Day, so we're excited about that, to have a gun show for Valentine's Day. What's better than that? So, but he has a lot of great historic guns that come in these great pine boxes, and so you'll get to see the historic reproduction guns that he bought over his lifetime. But one of my favorite collections, I gotta get the white gloves out for this one. So sorry you're going to see me out of screen for just a second. Go ahead and get lazy here. Alright, let's see if you can see this. See any part of it? So this gun here was actually made in 1873, standard issue Springfield breech loader. Very interesting gun here because the U.S. Cavalry would have used this. Now what's interesting is the song Home on the Range was written in 1873, and it was talking about the deers and the antelope are playing, and unfortunately this gun eliminated the deers and the antelope. So this is what they would do, is kind of clear out the buffalo and all those great characters, so it is pretty ironic. But the problem with this was when you were loading it on the breech load, it's coming through the back end, it would jam up on you. So during these Indian wars where you needed to have every second to your benefit, if you're getting jammed up, you have to jam a knife in there to dislodge. It cost you precious seconds. So if you consider that Custer died in the Battle of Little Bighorn, these were the guns that his men were carrying. This ultimately may have been the gun to kill Custer. Though he would have not been a rifle guy, he would have been more handgun type of guy. You can say that somebody who got the beat on Custer probably could have been killed by one of these if they weren't jamming a knife blade into the gun there. So this is kind of a interesting story with this gun. We'll put this on display, but this is 1873 standard issue to the U.S. Cavalry. great gun. One of Art Mandel's many, many guns that he donated to us. It's just a great collection there. So, from here, I do want to show off, since we showed you a brand new newspaper, let's show you an old newspaper. See if we can get this there. So, and we're going to go this day in history in 1917. It'll come down on the desk here. So, which we do appreciate. You know, these papers were sitting in the basement of the Abilene Reflector, and we have since saved these and working on preserving all these great newspapers. But you get a great opportunity to see what was happening 100 years ago today, January 31st, 1917. We'll come on this paper here. What I do like to show off is the headline story is pretty morbid. It's Wood Poisoned Lloyd George, and what that was the suffragists, these militant ladies that were fighting for women's rights. They're coming right after the Prime Minister. So over here we had, you know, Carrie Nations, we had Susan B. Anthony's, the ones that were a little bit more passive. These gals would actually try to poison the Prime Minister. Not only that, they tried to bomb his house as well. So these girls were coming after Lloyd George, pretty hardcore. You got to appreciate the militant wing of the suffragists. We also do see up here on the second column, or third column, it says city manager planned to win. Things haven't changed. Dillner's still trying to win every day. So we appreciate him for that. If you go down almost to the bottom, you may not see it. I'll try to take you right here. College for Towns. And they said if you had a high school in the state of Kansas, they would approve you to have a junior college in there as well. So you could carry on all the kids' education and prepare you for a bigger college your junior year. So obviously we never saw that to fruition, but it was a good idea and they're willing to fund that at one time. So we're excited about that. You also notice the advertisements. You'll see ask your grocer for no risk. This was the Abilene Flour Mills, which is sitting just over by where the Kirby house is on that big mills there. And then right across there's another flour mills. So you can see what's near and dear to our heart, and that is the Security Flour Mills, which is just across the street from the Liebold Mansion. So kind of interesting advertisement there. We'll go to the second page if you like to show off cases, which we see that sign up there on Broadway. Look at this huge ad that they have. They're talking about white linens. You're seeing that for what was once a table linens for $1.25, now $1.07. So you're getting some great deals on here. The ladies dressing up to the fine fashions. You'll see there are about 4 ads for clothing stores at that time, cases as well as Litz, and we would see also the Sturl Brothers as well. So kind of some interesting ads. They always tell about who's doing what. You'll see Carlton. You'll see Walter Weber. He had the misfortune to injure his eye, unfortunately. So he got a topping cane. Kind of interesting stories, but they tell everybody's business, which you always appreciate. Everybody knew what everybody was doing because it was right here in the newspaper. So on the back side, I do like to show off my favorite, which would be the Seeley Theater, which would have sat right there where the Plaza movie theater is. Some of you will remember later on. But you'll see they're showing The Lamb, which was a silent film back then. And you can see the prices are 5 and 10 cents depending on where you wanted to sit. Up here on the top here, Fair and Warmer, which was a comedy that was originally a stage show in New York City. Eventually they would push it to the silent film as well. So a story about a banker that was trying to rekindle his marriage. So we appreciate the prices here, 50, 75 cents, $1. So you can see that was a more frontline show. So we had a lot of theaters, a lot of ways to entertain ourselves. Abilene was quite the happening place, so 4 places to get clothes, lots of places to buy your flour, lots of places to see a theater. So that's how you had fun for that. So let's go back to the backyard here so you can see a couple of the treasures we're working on right now. And as we'll walk through the museum here, you'll see where we're going to have our art shows promptly displayed. So all the way throughout this open area, working around here, we'll have so many different works of art throughout here. Hopefully we'll have trouble walking through here, but we're excited about seeing so many people show up for that unveiling, which will be this Sunday, February the 5th at 1 o'clock. Meet and greet with me at 2 o'clock. So as we come through the phone museum area here, I'll try not to trip myself, but always great demonstrations of the old phones. Go out here when you come to the art show, definitely try these old switchboards out, get a chance to see the way it was. I always appreciate the party lines where they're all sharing the same phone line. So you got some teenage girl that's on the phone, she's gonna jam up the phone line so you can't use yours. So always appreciated that. All right, to the carousel, which was brought to us, was built in 1901, so you had to consider this carousel was made here in Abilene. He ended up going to Leavenworth right around 1911. One thing I found interesting is you can tell the difference of the horses between an Abilene horse and a Leavenworth horse, because an Abilene horse is a little bit more passive. He looks friendly, as you can see right through here. These are friendly horses. I would get on one of those. But the Leavenworth horses look kind of angry and very uppity, so they're going to be in that running pose. These guys are more kind of a little docile, doing a little jog there, so we appreciate it for that. But what we really want to show is this band organ. The band organ was donated by Dean Malott, a very important Malott family to us, and we appreciate them getting a hold of it, because Dean Malott would have been, as a kid, come out here and rode the carousel and remembered what it was like, and he remembered that band organ that would have came with it. So right here you see the Wurlitzer 1915 band organ here. As you can see, there's 13 trumpets over the top. You see 3 drums, a cymbal over here. This is a very important piece to us, but we have not seen it work for a while. So we're working with some experts. There's few and far between. They're like watchmakers now. You just do not see too many people that can fix this thing. So we do appreciate the guys out of Newton, Dave Anderson, who actually has a replica of this at home as well. So he worked on this for about 6 hours yesterday. He's going to put another 6 hours in on next Tuesday, and hopefully we'll have this thing working all the way through the summertime. It's truly something spectacle to hear the drums and the trumpets and everything working along with the carousel. So we're very excited about that. All right, last thing I'm going to show you here, and we want to give you a prize if you get this right. So we're going to have our trivia question of the day. We're going to go over to the barn. So we'll get kind of creepy here. It's almost like a science fiction situation. For all the kids that enter into the art contest, they will get a free ride on the carousel. So we're excited about getting as many entries and get them enticed, and hopefully we'll have the band organ working at that point. So we go to the Pritchard barn, 1915, one of our favorite barns here, because it's just as it was. You can go upstairs, you can walk through, you can see the old equipment. As we've been cleaning this barn out, we find all kinds of interesting relics. Some of them make no sense to us, so we had to do some research. So now you get to do the same thing. We're going to bring you into what looks like a science fiction world. And if you can tell me what this is, I'll give you 2 free admissions to the Heritage Center. Whoever the first one that can respond on Facebook will tell us. What you'll see is whatever this is. You guys tell me if you can figure it out. Tell me what they would use this for and who would use it. Kind of an interesting, scary thing that's been sitting out here in the barn for years and years, so we had no idea. But just to give you a little bit of hint, it was used in the early 20th century. So we'll see what you can come up with there. And this is the barn. So my name is Michael Hook. I am the director, and thank you so much for the Facebook live feed. We're so excited to share the Heritage Center. Hopefully do this every week with you, so we'll find new relics, new science fiction stuff, definitely. So thank you so much for having me.